Peace and blessings, family. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I wanted to come in and talk about the 8 limbs of yoga. I really love talking about the 8 limbs of yoga because this is where we talk about how yoga is a lifestyle and much more than a physical practice. When we talk about the 8 limbs of yoga, this comes from Ashtanga Yoga, which means 8 limbs. This is a style of yoga that you can take at many yoga studios. However, in practice of Ashtanga Yoga, you are ideally living the life of a true yogi and yogini. Okay, so let's dive in. So, when we talk about the 8 limbs of yoga, we break down yoga, the principles of yoga, into 8 different pieces. And one would argue that is technically more than 8 because 2 of those 8 limbs break down into other sections. So, the first limb is the yamas. This is your societal, is your social ethics. This is how you show up in the world. This is how you treat people. This is how you interact in the world. The second of those 8 limbs is your niyamas. That is your personal ethics. That is how you ideally would like to carry yourself. And I can go into the yamas and niyamas in a separate video because, again, they do break down into their own different sectors. The third of those 8 limbs is your asana. That is your physical practice. That is what everybody sees. That is your lotus, your downward facing dog, your upward facing dog, your warriors, etc., etc. Again, that is your physical practice. That is how we embody yoga. The fourth of those limbs is pranayama. That is your breath. You may hear the term pranayama when you're in a yoga class because many yoga classes do start with pranayama, breath work. The fifth of those limbs is pratyahara. That is withdrawing your senses. That is going inward. You are withdrawing your senses from the outside world. Okay, y'all, the next 2, I'm probably going to butcher the names, so forgive me in advance, okay? So, the 6th limb is dana, and that is concentration. Concentration. Pratyahara, we are withdrawing the senses, going inward, and dana, we are concentrating. That is where we're locking in a key focus. The 7th of those limbs is dana, and again, if I'm pronouncing these wrong, please forgive me. Dana is when we're now meditating. Remember when I've said that meditation is a part of yoga? Yoga is meditation. Meditation is yoga. These 2 go together. That is where we're meditating. And then the 8th limb is samadhi. I think some people pronounce it differently, but samadhi. That is bliss, connection, universal connection. Those are the 8 limbs of yoga. Again, forgive me if I have pronounced some of those wrong. Feel free to correct me. I like to learn how to pronounce things phonetically, especially because I have a speech impediment, so I stutter. And so sometimes I'm going to take the path of least resistance to try to go around a stutter. So please forgive me. Please teach me how to say the things, maybe how to sound them out, and I'll work on it. However, those are the 8 limbs of yoga. Again, I will be going into the yamas and niyamas because those break down into different parts. Also, if you would like me to go more into other things, please let me know. Again, happy Tuesday. Peace and blessings.